Welcome back to the people who were here yesterday for Ron's first talk, and welcome to those who are joining us today. You're very welcome indeed to this EUY session. So Ron yesterday was talking about Vairagya and mental health. Today he's going to be talking about Abhyasa and mental health. He is, as I'm sure you know, very busy teaching in India, in Suriname, in Europe. He's currently in Suriname. So we're very grateful to him for taking the time to give us these talks. I'm going to pass over now to Ron. He's going to be talking for maybe about an hour, Ron, and then there'll be some time for questions. So if anybody has questions or comments, then you can come in then. And of course, if you're not sure about asking your question, you can always put it in the chat and we'll keep an eye on the chat as well. So over to you, Ron.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, welcome. Tonight, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world, we will talk about Abhyas. And the whole story about Abhyas, we have to see it in the context where Patanjali put Abhyas and Vairagya. And he put Abhyas in the first chapter. That means in Samadhipada. And why put here Abhyas? So your practice. Actually, it is the art of your practice. It is not doing just the practice, like you do your asanas, you do your pranayama, you do your meditation, you do your whatever you want to do, like on the Eightfold Path of Yoga, Astanga Yoga. Patanjali specially said this is in the first chapter where we are talking about reaching samadhi, stable intellect, samadhi, stable intellect. So that means that Abhyas is related to going on the path of samadhi, going on the path of practicing to establish yourself in your own individual source. So practice is the effort to establish yourself in your source. And Abhyas is the effort for being firmly established in that state. Which state? It is what is written in the second sutra in the first chapter, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that we have to calm down the vrittis, the movements of our mind. That means it has to be a firmly established state. So Abhyas is the path, the discipline, the commitment from inside to go for that state. If you read it in this chapter only, then you will say, oh, wow, that's quite a challenge. That is quite hard. Abhyas, to practice it is, you need a commitment. You need a strong commitment to reach that path of samadhi. But if you say to yourself, but if I don't need samadhi this life, maybe I just want to be a nice person and I want to know more about yoga, then it is not a problem, of course. It is never a problem because yoga gives you all the freedom you want. You can practice yoga in a mild way. You can practice yoga in a moderate way. You can practice yoga in an intense way. It's all up to you. Nobody will judge you. Nobody will tell you this is good or not good. So the freedom is inside of you. The freedom is inside of you to understand what's the meaning of Abhyas and Vairagya. Abhyas is the way we practice. And I really want to make it clear that Abhyas is making a goal in your life, a purpose in your life, a direction in your life. Giving your life a direction, where to go. Whatever is happening in your life with your worldly processes of growing up and living in a society, but there is an inside process also. What is it in my life that makes sense? If I want to practice yoga, that's why we are here for. If I want to practice yoga, what does Abhyas then means to me? Abhyas means actually the strength, the need from inside, the feeling from inside that you're curious and you want to know the real self. And like yesterday, I explained a little bit the whole basic story, which I have to repeat also if we want to understand Abhyasa and Vairagya. Why should we use Abhyasa? Why should we put that goal to go inside? Well, the story is this. We as a human being, basically, you can say we are spiritual beings who are living in this gross form we call body. To have a lot of experience in this gross world, but during that process of having these experiences, we start to get attached to these worlds. Like if you're going on a holiday to a faraway country, and when you're there and you see so many nice people, nice food and nice things, and there is a lot of things which you like. So maybe you decide to stay there. But basically, you had an assignment from someone in your home country who told you, go and see there how it is to live in that country, and then you come back. But what happens in our life? We went into this gross form, in this worldly world, where the outside world, where all the senses and body is focusing on the outside world. We get lost in that world. We get attached to that world. We identify ourselves with our mind, our state of mind. We identify ourselves with the senses, with the body, with the outside world, with the impulses from outside. And basically, we think that's home. Basically, you really think in such a way that this is who I am. But that is the same story if I tell you that maybe you remember these diving suits of people who are going in the big oceans. They have a big helmet and big suits, right? And they go and work there on the bottom of the ocean. And you know what is happening? There are many, many workers on the bottom of the ocean and all in these same suits. And basically, during the days and the weeks and the month you are working there, you get acquainted with all the people who are working there. And you get attached to them. And you really start to think, I want to stay downstairs. I want to stay on the bottom of the sea. I don't have to explain you that that person is wrong because it's not his place or her place. He's not from the bottom of the sea. And if I tell him this suit, swimming suit or the diving suit, that's not you, right? Crystal clear, right? So the same with this body you have. You really are convinced that this body, that is you. But this is just a temporary suit in which you are living, and you can use it to get the experience of the gross world. So, okay, if you want to stick to that, that's fine. If you want to understand, but okay, I get attached to that outside world, but what should I do then? Then we say, listen, suffering, the kleshas, which I explained yesterday, the kleshas are the cause of suffering, and the kleshas are giving also the karmic process. They're starting up the karmic process. So we get like in a swamp. We were sitting now in a swamp and we are attached to it, and we can't go out just like that. Because our attachments and our identity with this body, with this personality, and this personality is just, as you created yourself. It is artificial. It is not your true self, but you created your own concept of you think who you are, how the world is. Is that good or bad? No, no, no. It's just the way it goes. This is how we live. This is how it is happening. You create a picture, a concept of how the world is functioning. You need that to function in the world. So you don't have to be surprised every morning you get up and you think, oh, where I am. No, no, no. You know where you are. But with yoga, there is another question coming up when we practice yoga. Then we read, hey, you're not this body. And then you think, oh, what am I if I'm not this body? If I'm not this mind, if I'm not these thoughts, if I'm not this concept? And who's telling me? Who's telling me that I'm not this body? Well, the thing is, if we start thinking with logic, we will notice that to understand the reason why we are attached to this world, why we are attached to this personality, we have to understand the reason why we are getting attached anyway. Because we need a kind of security, we need a kind of approving of the outside world that we are existing. So we are looking for acknowledgement, we are looking for love, we are looking for knowledge, and we are looking into the world outside instead of inside of ourselves. We never been learned that we have to go inside to learn to have that universal love, to have that universal unchangeable knowledge. That's what's inside of us. It's so funny to walk around, with a big gallon of water on the back, and you're begging for water outside. You have it, but we don't see it. And we don't know that we have it at all. So Abhyasa and Vairagya are there to reflect on yourself, inside of yourself, that you realize, okay, what is it that I am? A very simple question to each of you. Your body, you received that body from your parents. You didn't create it yourself. That's fact number one. And all the bodies are from the same material, same elements, right? Or some alien is among us, and then he has to stand up and say, oh, I'm from another planet. But even then, I would say, you're under the law of nature as long as you are in this physical form. And you got a name from your parents. You didn't imagine yourself and find out yourself, oh, I like this name, let me put this name. No, so you got everything from your parents. So what is yours, basically, then? What is basically yours? If your body is from your parents, your name is from your parents, it's the experience, your little backpack with a load of experiences, positive and negative. That's what makes you unique. As unique as everybody else. So then you realize, okay, my experiences are basically the only thing which is separating me from other people. I say yes. The package you are living in, that might change different a little bit, but basically it's the same. So then you start to realize, okay, what is then mine? You can't say that your concept is yours. Your concept is built up by limited knowledge. Your concept is built up by very subjective impressions which you have from the world outside. So it is not the truth. It is your truth. And then you can say, okay, if that is true, if you can follow this, right? And you say, okay, my concept of life is just limited. I know it is relative. It is not the truth. Who has it? Nobody has it. So we are working with that. Then somebody will tell you, you have to go inside. And what I hear many times in my practice as a yoga teacher, oh, I can do it myself. But I tell the people, no, you can't do it yourself. You have no clue what is inside of you. You have no clue how it is working. Like yesterday, I told the people, everything inside of you, like your body, your senses, and your mind will oppose you. They will block you. They will try to break your motivation. They will. Maybe you can remember the situation you were sitting in meditation with a group of people, and secretly inside of your head, during the meditation, you think, oh, when do we stop? When do we stop? My leg is hurting me. Nobody thinks that, right? Everybody was in pure peace and silent in that meditation. No problems with the body whatsoever. You know, if you want to learn who is the mind inside of you, then the mind is talking to you. And then I will tell the people after half an hour or 1 hour of meditation, then people say, oh man, my God, we've been sitting so long. I said, your mind is talking. If your intellect is talking, then he would enjoy the time of peace. But the mind wants to hold on the habits. The mind and ego likes to have the same situation as you are in. And if you want to detach yourself from everything, they will try to block you. So there are a lot of hindrances during the way. And I like to go through this in this hour with you, through these kind of hindrances which are there. And to make it very practical, because if I study the sutras, which is a very nice book, really, really nice book. I read it from Taimni, who make interpretation of the Patanjali Sutras, which is really nice to read. But he's telling you also that the 8 steps, like Ashtanga Yoga, you can choose whatever you like, whatever is attracting for you, you can practice. It is giving you a practical stepping stones towards that process of samadhi. And maybe you are familiar with the yams and niyams. And I really like to go through it for a little bit to explain with you that Abhyas needs a commitment, needs an inner drive to block the hindrances, to block that mind and the senses and the body, to, you know, hold on to the old habits. But can you imagine if you ahimsa, you have ahimsa, non-violence? If you really, really practice ahimsa, right? Then Ishvara Pranidhan, surrendering to God, is same moment. These two are so linked with each other, ahimsa and Ishvara Pranidhan. Ishvara Pranidhan is the surrendering to the universe, surrendering to the divine, as you can call it. And in ahimsa, all the hostilities will be given up in your presence. These two are linked with each other. So in your abhyas, in your practice, you can make it practical, so practical. Daily practice is very necessary. It shouldn't be like a philosophy somewhere you have to study. No, you have to practice. We have in Sanskrit the words gyan and vigyan. Gyan is knowledge. So many people, they can absorb a book of knowledge. But vigyan is experienced knowledge, and that's a different story. You can read a lot of books, but you don't experience it. So what's the use of it? So to live the yams and niyamas will bring you to a higher level spiritually. If you take satya, satya means truthfulness. And if you link satya to svadhyaya, svadhyaya is self-study, and satya is truthfulness. You know the link, right? If you want to do svadhyaya, study the self-study, they have 2 layers. Study the self means that you want to understand who you are in this body, in this life, in this concept, in this frame of reference where you are functioning. And that's interesting to know. But Svadhyaya has also a deeper level to understand, to study the real self inside of you. Both ways, you need satya, truthfulness, with a commitment for truth. And you put your truth into your intentions, words, and actions, and realization of the higher truth. That is what you're aiming for. So these two, satya and swadhyaya, they are related with each other. So that's practical, just practical. Then we have asteya. Asteya is non-stealing. Non-stealing means that you don't take the attention from someone else to yourself. Not physically, because that is what we all know. You shouldn't steal at all. But you also give another person the fame, give the other person the attention. Don't take it away from another person. And where is it related with? Tapa, self-discipline, penance. Make it simple, make life simple. You don't need that attention. You don't need that proud. You don't need that bliss from all the other people. No. You're just humble. So tapa, self-discipline, penance, and that is a practice of making life more simple, making life more sober. And asteya, non-stealing, means that you don't have to take anything from another person. You don't have to do that. So these two are really linked with each other. So in this way, you see that yams and niyams are working together. Then we have brahmacharya. And brahmacharya, normally we call it as celibacy. But brahmacharya means actually to control all the desires, not only sexual, but also all the desires. And if we can control the desires inside of us, it is related with santosh. Santosh is contentment, happiness. If you're content, why you should run after your desires? You don't need that. You're content. You're happy with what is there. That life is giving you so much. Why not be happy? Why not be content with everything you have? And that is with brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, celibacy, you have to try to control the desires inside of you. Can you control the desires inside of you on physical, emotional, mental, intellectual, and spiritual level? Then brahmacharya and santosh, they're working together. They're helping each other. And then we have the last two, aparigraha. That means greediness. We shouldn't be greedy. And it is related with sosh, purity. Purity, physically, environmentally, and mentally purity. Aparigraha means greed. And the whole world is having one big virus, one big disease, and that's greed. The world is going down because of this greed. We are not pure anymore. And all these yams and niyams, helping the society, helping the people to reach that purity again. And don't sink into that greed, which is so much around us. When COVID was there, I asked my teacher, Swamiji, what is actually the cause of this phenomena? He said, greed. This is worldly greed, which is happening. And what we call that we are in Kali Yuga, that means the world, the timeline of materializing, of material greed. We are greedy for attention, we are greedy for money, we are greedy for power, we are greedy actually because of a big jealousy. And we have no contentment anymore. There is no purity. There is no self-discipline. There is no reflection, self-study inside of us. And we definitely not surrender ourselves to the divine. We are surrendering ourselves to the money, to power. So yams and niyams are basically a very practical way to practice your yoga. I always tell the people, if you focus on these yams and niyams, and you will be the yams and niyams in the purity of the words, then your life will be like a saint. There is no greed. There is no need for anything. You're content with what you have. You surrender yourself to the divine. So practice is needed to shift our identity and establish it within the seer, the observer, consciousness inside of us. So then we become aware that what we previously accepted as the self, such as the body, senses, mind, ego, is not our real self. We have to search beyond the forms and names. The seer in us is pure consciousness. Nature comes into a form, sustained for a period of time, and then dissolves out of the form. So in this way, you can say that slowly, if we focus on the practical life of yams and niyams, our goal will be more doable. Abhyas, practicing, committing yourself to practice with this on this level. But then we have also what many people in the West know about yoga, asanas. But why do we do asanas? Why is it so, important in the West to do asanas? Basically, we don't know so much about asanas. That means it's a physical posture. But what makes it different between physical posture and yoga? Asanas are there so we can balance the 5 main pranas and practice pranayama so we can control the mind, the thoughts. Because mind and breath are twins. If we realize about asanas, doing asanas, what is it that we have to pay attention to? You can say with the body consciousness is that you will learn your body, how your body is functioning. We have to know with Abhyas, you have to understand, you have to know what you're doing. With Abhyas, you have a goal. So the goal in doing asanas is not the most difficult, most beautiful asana to perform in that. That is not the goal in asanas, practicing asanas. No, asanas is giving us a huge opportunity to learn more about ourselves, about the body awareness, which is very low in the West, that we are more aware of our senses, because you feel everything, but we are not used to feel it on a proper way. We have to go inside. I normally tell the people, if I do some asanas, inverted asanas, they say, what do I have to do? I said, don't think, but feel what you have to do. Because if you're upside down, you don't understand what is left or right or front or backwards. So you have to feel. And that's the most beautiful part in it. If you understand asana, practicing asanas, you have to feel what you are doing. Then you can do the most difficult asanas, whatever there is. As long as you feel it, you will be managing to do it. The mind is taking you out of your focus. The mind is constantly taking you out of your focus. Do all kind of balance practices. What is happening? Why are you not in balance? Because your mind is running everywhere. You don't control your mind. We have to control the mind. That's the simple thing. If you go to the ego, oh my God. I always tell the people, please leave your ego back into your house if you come to the class, because you get frustrated, and frustration is only ego stuff. And then you miss the clue. Because if you do it like gymnastic, then your ego has to play a role in it, because you want to be the best, you want to be the fastest, you want to be the whatever. But here, your ego should be home. You shouldn't take your ego with you. Because the other part in you is the intellect, who wants to know what is it that we are doing? Where does it go to? How can I experience, curiosity in the intellect? The sattvic part inside of us will give us the opportunity to really do the asanas as it is should be done originally. And what is the meaning of the spiritual side of the asana? Spiritual side is that we are going inside, not going outside. If you go to some classes and everybody's taking selfies, oh, that's nice for them, but it's not what we are looking for. We are looking for abhyas. Abhyas is practice. Practice to go inside. So go inside. Spiritual level of doing asanas is going inside. Feel what you have to do again, but be aware what you're doing. If you look to the chakras in the asanas, then you realize, oh, wait a minute. I'm blocked in my second chakra, whatever chakra. I can do asanas, which is opening up, making it a little bit moving around. Give some space in it and let it happen. Then you're aware that, oh, wait a minute. With these asanas, I can practice so much more that I can practice activating, stimulating my pranamaya kosha, my manomaya kosha. Actually, I can practice, influence my samana prana, my apana prana. All my pranas I can try to balance through these asanas. The gunas with practicing your asanas is that you can see that are you practicing it from a tamasic way, a rajic way, or a sattvic way? Tamasic, you will do not, you will just, I'm wondering if somebody who is tamasic on that moment who will come to class anyhow. And the rajic person, he wants to compete, he wants to do the best, he wants to be the fastest one. The sattvic person is practicing because he feels or she feels that it is bringing him or her insight. It is helping. If you look to the doshas and the asanas, if you look to the dosha, the vata, pitta, and kapha, then you see, oh, some asanas are increasing some doshas, like warrior pose, virabhadrasana. It will decrease kapha because you have to work, you have to be in the force. And so in this principle of the asanas, you can say that some asanas are helping you to decrease vata or pitta or kapha or other way around. So the doshas are working also, get also influenced during practicing your asanas. Then you come to another point, food. I will give you an example. If you go to yoga class, after dinner, big dinner, and you will do all kind of Matsyendrasana, torsis, or inverted poses, you don't like it. If you do all kind of pranayamas, you don't like it. So you realize you should do asanas on an empty stomach. That's the best. And why is that the best? Because it is cleaning up your whole system. Even with pranayama behind it, you will clean Annamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha, the two koshas which are very related with the gross body. So you can clean them. And what is happening if you do pranayama also, you will influence your state of mind because prana and mind are related with each other. And then you have the breathing. Breathing after you get more experience with yoga, you will do pranayama. That cleans up the whole pranamaya kosha. But then you have to have an empty stomach. So early in the morning, pranayama will be beautiful. So that means that you can also use asanas in a therapeutical way. I don't call it therapeutical because I call it like yoga way. If somebody is coming to me, ask for asanas for him or herself, I will give it. Do I see it as a therapy? No, because yoga for me is a lifestyle. You have to adjust in your lifestyle some points or the topics of yoga, and slowly you will integrate it into your lifestyle. Then it will help you. Then it will heal you and balance you in a really beautiful way. So you have to realize that asanas is not just like that. It is not just, doing your asanas physically. No. It has a lot of spotlights on itself. from which you can see into the asanas, practicing asanas. Then you have pranayama. I will tell you this because this is the practical form of abhyas. This is practically. I can put on theoretically, but that has no use. You have to do it. Let's understand that we have to go from gyan to vigyan. We have to go from knowledge to experience knowledge. So you have to do it. If you want to become a swimming instructor and you have an on Zoom class with that, you know also that this doesn't work. You have to go into the water to experience how it is to swim. So that's the same with yoga. You have to practice. You have to go inside to understand what is happening inside of you. Many people in the class, they have to, they get dizzy, headache, they feel not well, they get a little bit sick, and they say to me, oh, this is because of yoga. I said, no, my dear, this is not because of yoga. Because if it is because of yoga, then something other happens. You came here, and with yoga, we try to reset your system in his natural system. And if we reset your system, all kind of impurities will come up. Yes, and you will have some problems. You will have some little problems then after that. If you come to yoga and you tell me, oh, nothing is a problem with me, and your right shoulder is up, but that is because if you put it down, you have pain. But what we do with the asanas, we bring it down, and then you have pain, and you say, oh, this is because of yoga. No, my dear, it is not because of yoga. You had a problem already before, but you try to compensate it with your physical posture. So you try to compensate it in a way that you don't have any pain. And that's naturally, that's normal. But the point is here that your practice should help you to reset yourself, not only physically, but also emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and spiritually. So you can sit in meditation, you can go inside without any interruption of your physical form. How simple can that be? But then we need the yamas and niyamas to understand them, to experience them. Then we have to see that asanas are not just a physical practice, but it has a very deep understanding of balancing your pranas. You have pranavayu, you have samana prana, apana prana, vyana prana, udana prana. These are the 5 pranas which are keeping your system, your gross form, in balance. This is abhyas. This is just practice. Practice to go inside. Try to eliminate all the hindrances on your way, and this is one of them. If we go to pranayama, like I said, these 5 pranas, we try to balance them with the asanas, but also with pranayama. We have different forms of pranayama, which I don't explain in this lecture, because that is personal treatment, that is, you have to live a sattvic lifestyle to practice the deeper pranayamas. But I can tell you, if you practice the deeper pranayamas, your system will be cleaned. But if you're not living a sattvic lifestyle, you will be sick if you do it. And it is one thing is very sure: if you practice pranayama without having a proper lifestyle, your nervous system will be damaged. That's why we don't teach it. We don't teach it if I don't know the people. If I know the people, then we can do. But otherwise, you should have already your lifestyle accepted, adjusted to the yoga lifestyle, and then we can do all kind of deeper and more powerful pranayama to increase. And that is the reason why we do pranayama. Pranayama is helping us to control the mind, the waves of thoughts. I talked yesterday about it, the waves of thoughts which are coming up inside of us, and it is coming from a deeper inner force which is pushing it forward. So we can't stop it if we don't stop the desires. If we can stop the desires, our motivation to work on is more easy. So actually what we can say, we have to go from our lower thinking towards our higher thinking. And what is the thing? What is lower thinking and what is higher thinking? Lower thinking is we all, as we sit here, we listen, we are working with our lower thinking. That means our mind is dominating. The mind is dominating our life. And the mind is working with the senses and the body. And the mind and the senses are focused outside. So our whole system is focused and stimulated by the force from outside. That is one. And with the force from the past, the memories, the samskaras, and with the force of our desires for the future. So three points. We have to deal with them. If you know the 8 steps, you have on a certain point pratyahara. And pratyahara is actually the process of blocking the world outside. And then we have to deal with the past and the future to really become quiet. So that means pratyahara means we close ourselves up for whatever is coming from outside. That's related with lower thinking in ourselves. But what is higher thinking? Higher thinking is actually above the mind. So we can't go into that higher thinking unless you calm down the mind and we go in that stable intellect, samadhi, then we come into that higher thinking. But that is not for everyone now. Maybe you can do it. You can go in samadhi, and then you will understand and feel what is a higher thinking. But in our worldly life, we are in the lower thinking, which is, like I said, related with the mind, senses, and body. So that's where we are. And that's what, if whatever you want into yoga, we have to try to stop that force of desires inside of us. Because you know what it is also with Abhyas. Abhyas is giving you. It is giving you a very clear goal in life. To have that goal makes it more easy to let some stuff in your life go away. And like I said yesterday with Vairagya, and same with Abhyas, never fight. If you don't manage to keep on going, don't fight. Don't be super disappointed in yourself. You just drop down and you stand up and you walk on. What does the children do who are little babies who will go become a little boy or girl? And they will crawl and then they will stand up and start walking. But what happened? They fall down? Yes, they will fall down. And you know that everybody is falling down. And if everybody is falling down, that means actually that you get up again. And if you get up, can you hear me still? Yeah. If you get up, that means that you all manage to walk. So you prove yourself that you can keep on going. And now in the spiritual path, we need to keep on going. But we are sometimes very disappointed and put the bar so high for ourselves that we really are angry when we fall down and we miss a few days of meditation and we think, oh my God, now I'm go to hell. Yes, maybe you are going, but then you have a good experience with the meditation you had. So every step on this path, it is not thrown away. It will help you next time to get up, get on it again, and keep it on, and keep it up. So that means Abhyas means it is not a solid way. It is not a big highway. It is a way with a lot of holes in it, a lot of hills in it. It's unpredictable. And you will fail yourself in that way regularly, really. But smile. Keep on smiling because it's just a play. It's a play, it's a game. It's a game between ego and intellect. Who will win? You can choose. If you want to let your ego or mind win, then yeah, definitely you stay in the world. Have a nice time, enjoy the life, and suffer a little bit, but enjoy the suffering also then, because it's your choice. But if you choose that your intellect is winning, then you never give up. You never give up. This is just a path with all kind of hindrances. And you're the master of your own path. You're the master of your own rules. I give you an example. I have to admit something. I was last year in Isch. Some people know Isch in Croatia. And we had there a nice retreat. And it is warm in summer in Croatia. And then Anna told me, Ron, in the village there is a nice ice cream shop. But I'm vegan. So I thought, yeah, but that is not vegan. Oh my God. And we were working there, and she said, it's so nice. It tastes so good. Really, it tastes so good. And I said to Anna, but you're a vegan too. But then I thought, I put the rule on myself, right? That I'm vegan. I don't want that. And then we were in that shop, and I thought, oh my God. It didn't look great, but it tasted so great. So we walked away with that ice cream, not vegan, but we want to finish it before we were back in the hotel again, so nobody would see it. We were just little teenagers, right? That's what I mean. You can be very strict. You can be very, you put the bar high for yourself. But this is life. And life should be a playful playground. We should enjoy life in a way, but we shouldn't be attached to the things we are doing. Was I eager to go there the next day? Of course I was eager to go there the next day. Then I thought, okay, Ron, now this is a game. Maybe I can tell you that it's only 5 days to go. Maybe it's 5 days ice cream as a reward that I did so much. You know, I was listening to my mind, who was telling me, persuading me to go to that ice shop again. In that part, the mind won, but the rest I was teaching really well. You know, I just want to tell you that nothing in life is written in a rock, or how do you say that? You have to make your life. My life is clear. I go for this yoga path. Abhyasa and Vairagya, I embrace it. I embrace it in the way that I try to live according to the yams and niyamas. I try to live according to what I experience with the asanas. I try to live according to the philosophy of the kleshas and the karma. That's what I do. And should I do it? No. Can I do it better? Yes, of course, I can do it better. Can I do it less? Yes, I can do it less also. But I'm happy with this, how I do it now. And I think that is for everyone. Nobody. If I go to Swamiji, to my guru in those days, if I go to them and I would ask them, am I doing well? They will smile at me and they will say, you know, we love you. Don't worry. It's up to you. It's just up to you to choose your path, to go for it, and try to find your way of dealing with everything. And then somebody asked me, but if, Ron, if somebody is giving you a meal and there is some meat inside, what would you do? And I said, I will be very polite, but I won't eat it, because that is what there's a line. I won't go there, you know? And that is, you have to stand up for what you want. And if somebody is cooking for you and there is with meat, and then I say, with all the respect and with all my love, I will tell them that I can't take it. And that is where my line is. And that is where I want to live with. I try to make that life. So Abhyasa and Vairagya for me are guidelines, are clear words that this is my commitment from my heart. This is not a commitment from my head. So head and heart should be in line. If that is in line with you, you will do it with love. You will do it with pleasure. And if people say, yeah, but you don't drink alcohol, I said, no, and I don't miss it. I don't want it. No, I don't smoke. I don't eat meat. Then people say, oh, you're boring. I said, then that's fine. If I'm boring for you, I don't mind. But this is what I want. So it is all depending on what is it that you want in your life. It is helping me for going inside in my meditation to find peace in my mind and to simplify my life. I feel that all the 70,000 thoughts which are coming up everybody's mind every day, it's reduced. If people ask me, are you worried? No, I'm not worried. And life is simple for me. If we are able to be the observer in ourselves, the seer in ourselves, if we are being the observer, we can see the details, and we go out and to see the helicopter view, the observer. Make that as an instrument for you, as a tool for you, to zoom out and zoom in. If we can do that, life becomes more easy. Life becomes more clear. Zooming out regularly and zooming in, that is no problem. You see the point what people are talking about. But if you zoom out, you see, oh, the bigger problem. Then the bigger situation is giving you more clarity. So life becomes more easy. Life becomes more simple, because the source is actually, and that is what I try to explain also, if you have like desires, right? And a desire is not fulfilled, then what happens? You will have a disappointment. You will be sad. There will be irritation. You will be upset. You'll be angry. Maybe you get aggressive because of that disappointment. And what is happening is that whatever is there as a disappointment, sadness, irritation, upsetness, or anger, or aggression, it's all because there is a certain desire not fulfilled. Go back to that desire. Go to reality of, is that desire realistic or not? Drop the fruits of your desires, and you won't drop into that system of disappointment, sadness, irritation, upsetness, and anger, and aggressive. But that is not all. If you have a desire and you get satisfaction, then contentment is there, but also attachment. And that attachment can be mild, can be moderate, or intense. And what happens then? Greed is coming. And greed is coming in the mild form, in the moderate form, and intense form. That means actually every satisfaction will give you troubles on the long term. But if there is a desire and you experience oneness in diversity, then you experience knowledge. You will be surrendering yourself. You will experience blissfulness. So with every desire is coming up, means the mind is still not pure. The mind is still not pure because it is fulfilled with desire. So we have to try to take away the fruits of our desires, so we will not getting disappointed. And even if it is getting satisfied, we will not be greedy, because we will live in the present, and we will live in the present as now it is nice, it is happy, and life goes on again. So Abhyasa and Vairagya, we need these two to make progress in this yoga path. And I hope that I gave you now some practical examples how to practice it with the yams and niyams, with pranayam, with asanas, and that we can try to make your inner goal that your head and heart are in line with each other. And if you choose for that yoga path, for that inner path, going inside, then life will become more easy. And yes, and we need some guidance there because we don't know what to expect. And that is what my teacher told me, my guru told me, that these people are there to guide you into that inner process. Because outside we need all kind of teachers, constantly your whole life. So if you go inside, we need a teacher too, because we really don't know anything of our inner self. We know more about our house or our car or friends or family, whatever, than we know about ourselves. So we need guidance. And your ego should allow that, because your ego and mind will say, oh no, I can do it myself. No problem, nema problema. I can go inside. No. So I hope this is clear. I don't know if there are any questions. Then the questions can be asked now.
Thank you very much, Ron. Would anybody like to ask a question or maybe come in with a comment about what we've just heard over the last hour or so? Yeah, Edouard, go ahead.
Hello, Ron. I would like to one sentence what you mentioned at the beginning really hit my heart. It was that we start to identify made our identification with our body or mind because we want to confirm our existence, and it's really interesting because we make identification with our body or minds as a illusion or the false identification. So basically, when we can substitute that wrong identification with the true identification with ourself. So it means when we feel ourself, our essence, that way we don't have to identify with the bodies because we can identify with that what we are. I don't know if I'm saying clear what I'm saying.
Crystal
Sorry?
clear.
Yes,
You are
yes,
crystal clear.
yes. So to feel the self, it's the way how to make the true identification, to feel who we are, right? Yeah.
Yes, because if you really come to the point of your true self, to the source of yourself, then you will see that everybody is connected with each other. We are not separated from each other. We are one.
Yeah, one, yeah.
But we think, and that is the little problem we have as a human being. We think that process should be stopped because that is what we want to achieve in meditation, right? Stop your thinking. And if you stop your thinking, we come to the source of our true self. And that's the source where we all meet each other.
Yes.
So there's no you and me then anymore.
Yes.
One.
Yes. But this what you said, like we need to confirm our existence. Yeah. We need that. We really need it. Yeah. We want to confirm our existence all the time that we exist. So we just touch the body or we are the body and so on. But if we need to confirm that second, we are not, I think, feeling our true self. If we feel our true self, we don't have to confirm anything because we know that we are. So we are in peace, kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. This is nice that you pointed with your sentence that way. That it maybe put my puzzle together. That
Okay.
sentence. Yeah.
I'm happy
you.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more comments? Any more questions from anybody? Marcel, are you wanting to say something? You need to open up your microphone.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Ron. Maybe you can tell us something about Jivatma in this context.
Jivatma, actually, Atma is universal self.
Mhm.
Jivatma is the individual self. And that is what we like. As long as we are attached, trapped into this gross world, our Jivatma, individual self, is functioning. We have five, no, let me make it easy. Atma is, like I said, universal self.
Yeah.
And because we are in that intellect, and from intellect we go to ego, from ego we go to the mind. Intellect, actually, the child of intellect is aham. And aham is I awareness. Ahamkar is a I am awareness. And in that ego part, there are two parts. One is pure and one is impure, because then you put your covering your I awareness with I am a woman awareness, I am a man awareness, I have a house awareness, all kind of material, what I just said with Edward. We try to identify with the stuff we have in this life. But underneath, there is that I awareness. And actually, we are stuck with that. So for the time being of your evolution, of your personal evolution, due to your karma, which you are making, this is the Jivatma, the individual self, for the time being. And on the moment we get in moksha, you can drop your Jivatma, your individual self, and go up into the universal self again. So it is just a limited time that we have Jivatma.
Yes, but I think it also have a very important function to lead us through our lives.
Oh,
Jivatma.
yes, but that Jivatma that's what you are,
yes,
as we created.
But
the point
we
is,
need it by the Abhyasa. It also gives us a drive.
But that is not Jivatma is giving you the drive, because Jivatma is actually what we think we are, but basically we are not that part.
No.
And we explain in philosophy that it is the Jivatma, because you will come back again and again and again as that Jivatma, as that individuality, because of the attachment to the world. But you can realize that on the moment we become aware that aham is there inside of us, right? Then slowly, slowly, the covering is getting more transparent, and we can see and feel through it. Then we realize, oh, wait a minute. If I go really into aham, then I realize that I'm not this body, not from this gross world, but I'm a subtle being. I'm a spiritual being and not a gross person. So it helps us to realize that we are not what we think we are in this gross form.
Yes.
That you can say, it is that, like ego has its function, which is not bad, but we give it too much power. That's the problem where we are in.
Yeah, but it's important to acknowledge that it also helps us. Otherwise, we are sticking to one side, and it's more larger than that.
It is, but that's why I call it sometimes it's the play, a life game, a game of life. We have to play with it and don't give it too much importance, because otherwise it becomes too big.
Yes, but we can use it.
Yes, for sure. You use it. That's definitely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone else have a comment or something they'd like to ask?
Then I like to say something. If you have a question, just interrupt me. I want to explain one thing more, that in this summer, in September, in Croatia, I love Croatia, that we will start a yoga teacher training in Croatia, in Varaždin. It's nearby with Zagreb. People in Zagreb just go to Varaždin. It's not just a little few minutes drive. But we will start there a 3 years course of yoga. And why I'm telling this, because I think it's very important to make a new school in Croatia. And with Anna Arpinic and Igor, we will set it up this summer. So if you live in Croatia or in Slovenia or nearby countries, you just come and join this training. And if you want to have a tryout on Ish this summer, we will have a beautiful retreat. And Ivana is also coming. I know, I see her knocking her head. Yes, of course, I will come there. And that will be a retreat in summer, 7 days, 9 to 16 of August. So if you like to have some more information about that, then just app me or mail me or whatever. Try to contact me and we'll give you all the information. And for the rest, in Holland, I give also in September a retreat again in Dutch. So this was my commercial break. Thank you.
Okay. And the ice creams will be available in Croatia, Ron? Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my favorite one.
That's definitely a good part of your advertising, I think. It sounds like they're very good. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. So wonderful. Thank you very much, Ron, for your talk. Thank you to Karen for looking after the Zoom for us. Thank you to all of you for coming along today, for listening, for giving your questions, your comments. Just a couple of things before we close, just to say that this has, of course, been recorded. So if you want to listen again to get any details that you may have missed, you can do that. You will also get, you'll get that in a mail probably next week sometime, hopefully. And along with that, there'll also be a little survey. So if you want to give us any feedback, if you have time to do that, then please do. The next talk will be next week, next Tuesday. That's in English. And then in March, we have some coming up also in English and in French. If anybody is able to follow lectures in French, there'll be a couple in French in March. Just reminding you maybe also that Abhyasa and Vairagya are going to be the themes of the Zinal Congress this year between the 17th and the 22nd of August. So if you're not in Croatia with the ice creams, maybe come to Zinal, where they have quite good ice creams as well. Maybe not quite so good. But thank you again for coming. Thank you, Ron. And we look forward to seeing you again, maybe in one of our online sessions. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dankjewel.
Dag Nadja.